In this video, we will be talking about all the extinctions in more depth, starting with the 60s plants. Alsoni mortua was killed due to its lack of efficiently spreading its seeds. The 80s cup only partially killed them with Maximus folii. Maximus's giant leaves blocked the seeds from falling to the ground, and many seeds that were both alive and able to fall off the plant had a decent chance of landing on top of a Maximus. Segumd Kaul was killed by the ever-so-dangerous Ango radicatus, since both of these plants live in the exact same environment, and poor Segumd Kaul had no defense against such a lethal plant. Mortis anthrophagus was outcompeted by Spiritus educatoris. Although these two do share the same role in their ecosystem, it's surprising that these two didn't just coexist. Nintantus was already going extinct thanks to it not being able to find food and water, and was getting killed by Pentanulida and Duris ad nomen, but the final problem was Multus valgus and the efficient Spiritus educatoris taking up even more corpses from the starving Nintantus. Praestrictus was killed by a bit of everything, but mostly there was a lack of being able to find food and water and predators like Grissa oculus and Immator. Pecus pfister was killed by the animal responsible for the most extinctions, being Admus pfister. Admus is much less efficient than Pecus pfister, but inhales much more dust than Pecus pfister, taking up much of their food. Admus also actively kills Pecus pfister by harassing them for long periods of time, and the same extinction reason applies to Amethysta pfister and Gigans pfister. Arcus cellula was killed by predators like Grissa oculus and Velitus valga, not knowing that Arcus was poisonous, and was also killed by Admus pfister harassing it and eating its food. Ditas monstrum was killed because most of its food went extinct, since Ditas could not recognize Admus pfister as food, and Rubinus pfister is sometimes too strong for Ditas and is far less common than its Pecus and Gigans pfister relatives. Hyalus oculi was killed due to extra predators and one form of its main food source going extinct. Longa aurus was killed both by Titanus and Clarus Chimex, mostly by Clarus. These two fill similar roles in their ecosystem, and simply the stronger one survived. Duris ad nomen was killed because of new predators not knowing its pods were edible. The reason Duris went extinct but not Pentanulida is because Duris is slower and its bones are less dense, making them weaker. Nintantus vermin was killed because Nintantus went extinct. Who'd have thought? Now for the 80s organisms, starting with Opacus being mostly killed by radiolysis, since the chemicals Rara releases inside of plants to prevent too many Raras from attacking a plant also prevents Opacus from growing. Opacus was also killed by Lata otis pulling them off of plants and eating them. Aqua Chimex was killed by new predators and Trandifer because these two try to fill the same role. Multus valgus was killed by aggressive animals like Acuta palmis, predators like Caica chaser, and plants like Prustrum, because when Multus tries to eat and occasionally ends up laying down and getting cut up. Validus valga was killed because of major changes in their typical environment. Multus folium was killed in competition with other similarly sized plants. Basifer floris was killed because Carnoradix took up almost all available space, and any space that was available was unreachable by Basifer. Arium folium was killed because of competition with folium. That's all the extinctions gone in more depth without getting super repetitive and specific.